Okay, so today I am working on a habit tracker for in my Mini Daisy Dori. So I've printed out the all the different trackers. They're great because they come in all different sizes. So they've got a standard, a B6 size, a A6 size, a personal and a mini. So we're going to be using the mini. An A5 size, and a classic vertical size. So depending on what kind of planner you use, you just pick the tracker that would best suit. So we're going to grab the one that has the mini for my Mini Daisy Dori, which is this little guy here, which we're using. So I covered the front with some of the papers and the die cuts, and I did a little bit of stamping and just used a couple of stickers, and then inside one of my favourite pocket cards, and I just used the December sticker. I did a month at a view, so because the Mini Daisy Dori doesn't come with like a calendar, so I like to make my own every month. So I use the first 2 pages to do a calendar. I just used some stickers and die cuts to do that. And then this is where we're going to be putting our tracker in. So yeah, so I've kept an empty page, and then we go on to December. So there we go. So that's where it's going to be placed. I'll pop that aside for now, and let's we'll cut out that at the end. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to use the printables. So these are the December printables for Winter Twilight, and they're just lovely. I love the snowflakes. So I'll just put them down a bit. So we can use some of the borders on the larger pages. Snowflakes, and then when we get down to some of the smaller insert pages, they have lots of decorative art on the sides of them, and that's what we're going to be cutting out. So we've got some animals, some beautiful snowflakes, some holly, and some other some trees, cute little houses, and then at the end we have our pocket cards and our monthly card. And this month we also get a little recipe for mistletoe mimosa. So if you like your cocktails, I dare say you could make it a mocktail, just leaving out the champagne. Maybe swap it over for a non-alcoholic alternative. It's a great idea. Okay, so let's get started. We'll grab all the ones that have the side art for now, and we'll cut those out. Each of these ones here. So what I normally do is, just to make it easier, I just cut off all the borders. Just really quickly, just leave room between each one. So I like leaving a bit of a white border around all of my what will become like almost like die cuts. So I just chop them into the individual little pictures, and then one by one I will cut them out. You usually get, the way that these are made and designed on the page is you get 2 of each in like a mirror image. So they're great if you want to print them out on, I've printed these out just on plain copy paper because I find that's the easiest when it comes to cutting. But if you want to have a thicker, if you want to have more of like a die cut effect, you can print them out on cardstock. Or if you don't want to have to use glue, you can print them out on sticker paper. which I have done before, but I find with sticker paper, my scissors get very sticky by the end of it, and it just, I personally didn't like hand cutting them out on sticker paper, but if you have a cutting machine, I think sticker paper would be a great option, because then you don't have to use glue, you just cut them out, and then you just peel the backing off and you're good to go. So, and I do keep these, because I might use the graphic, or I might use the whole thing, stick it onto some cardstock and make a bookmark or something like that. So I'll pop those aside for now. And I'll just keep cutting out the individual pictures. So again, just be careful if they're a little bit close together, so you've got room to cut around them. So the fact that you get 2 of each is really great, that you can make some paper clips if you wanted to stick them onto cardstock, and then pop a paper clip between them and glue them together. And cute little double-sided paper clips if you wanted to. Different ways to use the printables. That's why I love them so much. They're so versatile. Gives you a heap more art to play with, and often you get it's also a different size to the stickers that come in the kits, so it just gives you just a little bit extra. They're a great idea. These, how they're sort of the watercolor effect on them. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. Nearly there. So I just cut out one copy of them, because you get quite a bit. But if there is a certain, a certain page that you love them, just print out multiple of that page. If you love the birds and you want more of the birds and the bunnies. Bowl that I like to put all of my die cuts into, and then we start cutting them out. Now what I like to do is when I print out the papers, although I'm printing them on just normal copy paper, I actually set my printer to print on like photo quality paper, and I find that just gives a much better quality print. It's like just printing on a higher standard, I suppose. And there is a slight difference. I've printed both just on normal copy paper settings, and then on like photographic paper settings, and it does come out, the color is a lot more vibrant. So you might want to just play with your printer settings if you are printing on just normal copy paper. Obviously if you're printing on matte paper or on sticker paper, just pick the appropriate setting on your printer. But yeah, I find it just gives a nicer quality. So as I'm cutting these out, you'll probably notice that my hand actually holding the scissors isn't really moving very much. I'm just literally opening and closing the blades as I'm cutting. And my left hand is actually just swiveling the paper around the image that I'm cutting out. And I find this is the most accurate way to cut out. And if you make a mistake, because you're going to be gluing these down, if you don't like chop a whole bit off by accident, but if you cut through a branch or something like that, don't worry about it. Just go back to where you're supposed to be cutting, and continue on, because once you glue it down, you're not going to see that little mistake. So yeah, so don't fret, because I've done it many a time when I'm cutting out something that's delicate, or that's really fine, and trying to cut between leaves on a branch or something like that, and you accidentally cut a little bit too far or something like that. It's easily fixed, so just don't cut the whole branch off thinking that you've wrecked it, because it's not the case. So so we're going to continue around this little snowflake, and we're nearly done. And you can be exact as you want to be. I'm leaving a little border around the design, but you could get in as close as you feel comfortable doing. And there we go. There's our first one cut out. I'm just going to pop them into my bowl as I go. And it is handy, like when you first start cutting, I think it's handy to have a bit of paper to hold on to around the image that you're cutting out. So maybe when you're cutting them out, don't do your original cut like how I've just done a big box. Maybe don't do your original cut really close to the image, like give yourself a little bit of room, because that allows you to hold on to it until you get, comfortable with fussy cutting. But again, if you have a paper cutter, like a Cricut or Cricut, or however you like to pronounce it, or a silhouette, something like that, obviously it's going to do all the work for you. I do actually have a Cricut. I just haven't unpacked it from the box yet, and I also have one of the Brother scan and cuts, which I have used, and it's really cool, but I don't use it for the printables because I like fussy cutting. I find it very therapeutic, very relaxing, and I just take my time with it, and I really enjoy the process. So as yet I haven't actually tested, but I'm sure lots of people have, and there'll be tutorials and things like that that you can find on how to cut out your Cocoa Daisy printables using a cutting machine, if that's the way you would prefer to go. But for now, I'm just going to continue using the old scissors. And these are the only scissors I use for doing it, and they're just kind of like they're a small, they're not tiny, like if you think of, sorry, excuse my arm for a second, one of the little ones like this. They're really cute, but I haven't actually tried using them, but I prefer these ones, which were in just like a kitchen set of scissors that came with like about 5 different ones, and this was like one of the smaller scissors in the pack, and I've just always found it. I used them once and I just really like the way that my hand sort of felt holding them, and so they've become my go-to fussy cutting scissors. And you'll find a pair of scissors that are just comfortable. There's some spring-loaded ones which I believe are supposed to be very good, which I might try in the future. So we're just going to keep on cutting around these. So I might fast forward for you. So I'm just going to rule the lines around where I'm going to cut the tracker out. If you have like a little guillotine or something, just use that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little decorative border, just do some dashed lines. Do it just at the top and the bottom because just a little bit at the top and the bottom. So I'm just doing little dash lines. And I will do the same on the top. Just taking it in a few millimeters. Just give that a second to dry, and then we'll stick it in there. So this is where it's going to go, like so. Sticky runner, something like that would also work well. If you prefer not to use like a glue stick, I just find them easy to use. Okay, so now we're just going to stick this in place. Just center it in the space. Now, the next bit, we're just going to have a look through our die cuts and work out what we get. So what I want to do is I want to cover this printed pattern with some of the die cuts. So sort of trying to pick the smaller things that, okay, so I think these are the sort of ones I'm going to be using. Just wondering if I can, what I might be able to do though is cut these in half and kind of have them popping out from underneath. Might be cute. cute. So I'm just going to cut a couple of the snowflakes in half. And then I'm going to use them underneath just as a bit of extra decoration. It's another one I like the look of. I'll do this one. Okay. This one's quite cute. Let's do that one. Okay. Let's start. So just grab a spare piece of paper and just move this one out of the way for a minute. Okay. So let's start sticking a few of these down. Just kind of changing, putting half and half, just give a little bit of interest. You might even see them at the end once I put all the other things on top, but in case you do, I thought it might be a nice touch. Christmas trees at the top. So from now on, I think I'm not going to glue the whole thing down because I like having a little bit of movement. So what we might do is just glue kind of in the center. That's much where I like it. I think this way. Yeah. So we'll just put a little bit of glue right in the middle. And we'll leave the end sort of a bit free to move. So you put things kind of underneath if you want to feel, so just leave it like that for a minute. I can always pop a little glue at the end just to, if I find it's getting a bit away from me. Then I'll have a bit of pretty berries. And I just glued the whole thing. I don't need to do that. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's put this one down. And so it's in the way. I might lose the bird. I think the bird might be just a smidge too much. Maybe just the house and the deer. Pretty cute. Maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Room on the house. The house about there. This is not actually covering any of the dates. Just turn it around a smidge like that. And then put a bit of glue on with the deer. So we see some of the house. It's cute, I think, like that. Look like that's good. There we go.